Mark Stevens, author of Government Indicted, a website, of course. Let's get that there. Yes, markstevens.net, where if you're being attacked by a bureaucrat or you just want to learn to effectively defend yourself if you one day will be attacked by a bureaucrat, because statistics show that, yeah, we're all going to get hit at one time. We're all under constant attack. We're all, okay, so go to markstevens.net. We teach very effective strategy using the Socratic method of asking questions and not accepting any sacred cows, which is why if we go to the success stories part of the website, it spans 3 continents. Yes, we've been able to replicate the results on 3 continents and even Israel. So it has proven to be very effective. Yes, the tickets do get thrown out all the time. And more serious, of course, we've got Joe getting a ticket drug charges kicked out in Hawaii. We've also had tax stuff thrown out, IRS stuff. There's a ticket dismissed in Wales. So that was great. And, of course, here, this is for some of the critics, though. I just want to mention this before we get into the actual ticket that was thrown out. Actually, 2. So there were 2 thrown out in Washington, D.C. So that was – we'll get to that in a second. But, people like to marginalize the evidence and just can't admit that you can do this on your own, that you don't need to hire an attorney and spend thousands and thousands of dollars, and a lot of times get not even as good as a result as we do here on the No State Project, getting tickets thrown out or tax assessments or drug charges for that matter. So, critics just, even though the motion itself is granted, critics still can't accept that challenging jurisdiction, challenging the prosecution's arguments, and not giving them any, free passes, sacred cows. Oh, you can't challenge the application of the law. You can't challenge the magical rules. No, you can. And we do get the motion to dismiss. There's evidence of it right there. And we have more evidence of it right here. So I want to thank Dale I don't know, I don't remember if he's in Washington, D.C. or not. That's just where he got the tickets. But I'm glad that he was able to send these over to me. The documentary proof. There's 2 of them. And there's we got ticket numbers on there. So, let's see what this says. Now, these were charges. He was accused of violating the sacred code, the magical rules that apply just because you say so. Oh, imagine the power. Not ordinary human beings. No, from the hand of Odin himself comes the special rules, the magical rules, the law. They're not just written by ordinary human beings who force other people to give them money. No, they're from the hand of God himself. No, that's actually not true. There are people that actually believe that, though, that the laws are somehow not governed by the same basic principles that govern, all of us. Just because I say my rules apply, doesn't mean that they do. But those called government are special. They're God's own servants, so-called, right? No, absolute nonsense, ridiculous. So he got the charges, filed a motion to dismiss, and discover a request where we're asking for the evidence to prove the prosecution's claim, not just because he's physically in Washington, D.C., their Constitution and rules apply. Well, of course, they can't give you what doesn't exist. And so anyway, he filed. I don't think he made a request for a mail adjudication, but that's how they took the motion to dismiss. They like to do that. Well, we're going to construe your motion as a request for a hearing. Well, if you want to have a hearing on the motion, that's fine, but not a hearing on the merits of the ticket. That's not the way things are supposed to work. Anyway, this is the important thing right here. Your request for more mail adjudication on the ticket listed above has been reviewed. Based on your statement and or evidence, or the government's failure to meet its burden of proof, the ticket was dismissed by a hearing officer. So congratulations to Dale, and there's the same thing here. So for those who may turn around and say, well, it's just a stupid traffic ticket, we're making the same claim, because we're making the same argument. We're asking the same basic questions. because even if it was a drug charge like we had Joe in Hawaii get tossed out, it's the same charges. It's the same arguments that they're using against you. If you're physically in D.C., the magic rules from Odin, they apply. And it's not something that you can challenge because it's irrefutably true. Irrefutably true. DNA evidence is not even irrefutably true, but they think that their opinion, that their rules apply, somehow is irrefutable. You may also turn around and say that, well, Mark, it does say, or it could be based on your statement and evidence, or the government's failure to meet its burden of proof. Well, I could say something. How many times have you ever seen or heard of a traffic court kicking a ticket out without a hearing based on an argument that wasn't raised? An appeals court doesn't even have the power to dismiss based on an argument that's not raised. They can't even rule or make a decision on an argument that wasn't raised. So, okay, they may say, or the government's failure to meet its burden of proof. So you have to assume that part had nothing to do with the motion to dismiss that said that they cannot meet their burden of proof. The motion to dismiss, which they construe as a request for mail adjudication, is based on the fact that the government, the prosecution, cannot meet their burden of proof. It's impossible. Because Odin himself did not pass these laws down to mere mortals. I will say, it is possible that a traffic court judge or hearing officer, examiner, could have, on his own, found another defect in the ticket and dismissed. But that's an assumption. We want to go based on the evidence. So we filed a motion to dismiss, saying that they cannot meet their burden of proof. And it was dismissed. So we'll get that here. So congratulations to Dale. And we'll get that posted here under the success stories, which is kind of deep now. You could go through this. It goes back a number of years. Actually, one of my favorite, though. So if you haven't seen this one, definitely click on that and check that out. The critics love that, especially some that said that it has absolutely never resulted in a ticket getting thrown out. Well, no. Well, this is one, and that's two. So that's not true. So, hey, if you disagree with what I presented here, what I present on the No State Project and on markstevens.net, you are more than welcome to call into a live broadcast. We are live most Saturdays from 4 to 7 Eastern Standard Time on the Liberty Radio Network. Give us a call and present your evidence. Until then, my name is Marc Stevens. Website is markstevens.net.